Builders, Jake Adams here, and I'm very excited to share with you the first Taiwanese reef tank that I've ever seen, and it is an amazing display. We are in Daoshui, on the outskirts of New Taipei City, in the home of Jimmy Huang, right?
Yeah.
Jimmy Huang, I'm doing my best right here. But this tank is really nice. He doesn't speak English, but we're gonna do our best to translate some of the important parameters and details of this reef tank, because it is nearly perfect. I really can't stress just like that. There's nothing I would change on this reef tank. It's really great. So let's give it a look. So this is the aquarium of Jimmy Huang here in Taipei, and as you can see, this thing is just an absolute masterpiece, just absolutely beautiful, really sensible equipment, a great aquascaping layout. We've got basically two sides to view and enjoy on this side of the tank, and there's also a visible pane on the other side, which we'll take a look at here in a little bit. This tank is SPS dominated for the moment, but there's also a good selection of zoanthids, giant clams, a few moon corals, some soft corals, and a few LPS corals tucked in here and there around the reef. There's also a nice collection of recordias and mushroom anemones right in this cool little crevasse down here in the middle. And before we dive into the equipment on this tank, I definitely want to point out a few really cool, interesting animals that have grabbed my attention. So Taiwan has a very different access to marine livestock than we might be used to in the West, but you really couldn't tell from the look of this particular reef aquarium. Let's swing around here and take a look at the rest of the tank, and you can see his big, beautiful blue Maxima clam just sitting there pretty front and center. The aquascape is just really inspiring. There's a moderate amount of rock, really not overdone at all. And the thing that's really cool about this reef tank is it just looks totally beautiful under daylighting without having to blow out all the colors. So what you see on the screen right now, this is exactly what this tank looks like. So here's this cool zoanthid cluster. We've got some pink pallies, some large green Palithoa grandis. But one zoanthid that's really grabbing my attention is that beautiful one right there in the middle with the bright red polyp. There's a couple on the side, but it's got these really thick tentacles. Really totally my style. And here's a close-up of that large blue Maxima clam. It's kind of a Maxima, kind of a Squamosa. It's kind of hard to tell. It definitely crosses the border between the two. And one of my favorite species right here, Acropora nazuta. This one's a light minty green with some nice bright blue polyps. And definitely the first animal that took my breath away is this beautiful fluorescent red anemone, yellow tips. You might be tempted to think that this is a bubble tip anemone, but actually this is a Taiwanese lung tentacle anemone. Really crazy specimen. I don't think I've seen anything quite like it. Really stunning and just about as bright as it looks on camera. So the population of SPS corals is really diverse. There's a lot of the pretty much the shallow water species that enjoy a lot of light. Some familiar corals like a tricolor subulata over here. We've got a Suharsenoi off to the edge, so that's going to be an Indonesian import. And then just a really nice crest of SPS there at the top, including some sarmentosas, some purple stylophora, and a really nice thick fat tip purple humulus right there at the very top. This aquarium has a volume of about 750 liters. The dimensions are 120 by 90 by 70 centimeters. So I'm gonna guess it's right at about maybe 150 gallons. I'll do the math off camera. What else? He does about 10% water changes once a month. He doses a whole bunch of stuff, but primarily uses the KH Guardian for alkalinity monitoring and automatic dosing, as well as a calcium calcbuster stirrer for calcium additions, and a variety of Phonomarin and Zeovit additives for mineral and supplement replenishment. Let's see, what else? The return pump is going through a couple of ductors. He's got G-bow pumps on pulse mode, as well as a gyre pump right here on the edge to provide flow on this end of the aquarium. There's a large Reef octopus protein skimmer that takes out a lot of the nutrients. And right here in the back, right on this overflow behind this cupboard, there's actually an algae turf scrubber that is actually growing a lot of microalgae. So this is actually a really cool approach, because a lot of times spillover light can cause problems with growing algae in the overflow box. But Jimmy has actually turned this into a benefit with a supplemental red and blue kind of horticultural LED light to encourage that microalgae growth on a screen that he can remove from time to time. So as you might imagine, a very well lit reef aquarium like this definitely appreciates a lot of light. And the lighting is actually provided by 3 different banks or circuits of LED lights. The primary lighting is going to be 3 Illumagic style LEDs. So each of the Illumagic styles provides up to 150 watts of power. He's got 2 previous generation combo rays, actually cocked at an angle on both sides, which I really like. So each of those combo ray strip lights actually provide up to 50 watts of power. And then there's 2 small actinic strips. The Illumagic styles photo period of about 15 hours, but keep in mind that's not a full intensity for that whole time. The previous gen combo rays are on for 12 hours, and then the smaller supplemental actinic LED lights are on for 9 hours. I thought it was actually really cool that he's using one of the variety of new wireless flexi plugs, wireless controllable outlets to control the lighting on the small supplemental LED lights. Okay, go.
养殖方面，我给大家一个建议，就是虽然说这个东西已经蛮长的时间了，所以该有的数据大家应该都知道。可是其实往往养殖方面是需要靠经验的，然后数据上也不要太追求，有在范围内其实就可以了。然后如果鱼友们喜欢用纯 LED 养殖的话，千万不要被眼睛给骗了。LED 的强度非常的强，所以很容易造成伤害。所以如果想要调整 LED 的高强度的话，尽量可以不要从侧面看，从水面上去观察，然后1个礼拜之内就可以看出结果去做调整。然后，基本上大概是这样。然后在养殖过程最好是可以累积一点经验，不要什么都看数据、看别人的结果去做操作，因为这样你没办法学习到任何东西，出问题或者是调整上可能你会被自己给局限住，而没办法做突破。
So what an amazing reef tank by Jimmy Huang here out on the outskirts of Taipei. This Taiwanese reef tank is absolutely gorgeous. It's clean. Everything's healthy. There's a lot of different aquarium equipment and devices in use on this tank, but it's clear that they're all serving a very important role. And it's been a very interesting challenge to kind of communicate across the language barrier because I don't speak Chinese, and there's Jimmy doesn't really speak English at all either. So So it's been an interesting challenge, but there's no doubt that we both speak the language of reefing. And from what you can see, this tank is an absolute masterpiece. I'm really, really glad I got to see it. So I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you have any questions about it that I may not have answered, go ahead and put your questions down in the comments. If you want to see more videos like this, you know what to do. Go ahead and subscribe. Consider sharing this with some of your friends. And I really hope you enjoy this video. I'm always working to collect as many videos and clips and content as I can. So definitely stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.